War is hell. This was probably said by a guy who's never listened to My Little Dark Age. The days of being dragged into large-scale national conflicts are sadly behind us. Now we just make the poor do it. Due to this, 21-year-olds all around the world are left yearning to lose their life on a European battlefield so the Duke can gain 1 acre of land. To tame this urge, many are forced to do the unthinkable. That's right, support EA. More specifically, the Battlefield series, whose latest entry is a bit, playable right now. However, at its launch, it was a buggy mess with broken mechanics and classes. Basically Battlefield 4, but worse. So now you have two options, tolerating the new game or playing with the same 15 people on the $40 older game. I feel like this is a calculated move to incentivize playing 2042 over 4. But what if I told you there was a third, cheaper option? Welcome to BattleBit. It's Battlefield but with Roblox tier graphics. It recently had an open weekend, and I cannot for the life of me pass up free things. And I ended up putting 30 hours into it. So despite everything I'm about to say, good or bad, I kinda enjoyed the game. BattleBit has multiple modes. Oh boy. Team Deathmatch, Advanced and Secure, Rush, Conquest, Domination, Elimination, Infantry Conquest, Frontline, Gun Game, Free-for-all, Gun Game, Team, Free-for-all, Suicide Rush, Catch Game, Infected, Cash Run, Voxel Fortified, Voxel Trench, Capture the Flag, and Invasion. I can only explain the latter. Invasion is where one team has to fight for control of 3 points simultaneously to progress the front line. The opposite team obviously has to work to prevent this. As for the other modes, I honestly cannot tell you what the goal is, so I'm going to give you a piece of advice that applies to all modes. Simply shoot the enemy. All these game modes I held on the following maps that I found helpfully listed on the wiki: Azagor, Basra, Construction District, Dustiu, Eduardovo, Frugus, Isle, Kodiak, Lenovo, Multu Islands, Namak, Oil Dunes, Outskirts, River, Salhan, Sandy Desert, Tensa Town, Valley, Wakistan. Wine Paradise, and Zalif Bay. What your experience actually depends on isn't the mode or the map, but the amount of people in the match. There are 3 lobby capacities, 32v32, 64v64. Now looking at the previous numbers, you can obviously see a pattern, and you're a smart viewer, aren't you? So through intuition, what is the next part of this pattern? That's right, 127 versus 127. Maybe it's an engine limitation, I don't really know. 32 versus 32 is an actual calming experience in comparison to the other modes. It's where you can truly show off your skill, or in my case the lack of it. 64 versus 64 is where things get a little bit chaotic, but if you know the maps and have adequate skill, you can thug that shit out. 127 versus 127 can simply be defined by the phrase, where was I shot from? As not only are the maps larger, but you also have to be capable of discerning friend from foe in a split second. By the way, if you see a shiny object at a distance, you're probably about to die. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the classes. There are 5 classes in BattleBit: Assault, Medic, Engineer, Support, and Recon. Technically, there's a 6th class called Squad Leader. It doesn't actually matter who the squad leader is. They're all useless. Assault class. These are your basic infantrymen. They're capable of carrying assault rifles and SMGs. They can also equip sledgehammers and grappling hooks to get advantages over other opponents. And if you don't respect your free time, you can grind levels and get the riot shield. This is the only class that can carry it. Have you ever been in a building, hunkered down, trying to patch your wounds, and then someone runs in with an SMG and guns down 15 people? If yes, then you've probably encountered the assault class. This class is probably the most skill dependent class in the entire game, which is why I don't play it. Medic class. This is probably the most verbally abused class in the game, as you are expected to simultaneously heal 15 people while having a grenade thrown at your head. Let's also not forget the biblical amounts of back seating. The way these people talk to me, you'd think I was a drunk driver. You're given copious amounts of bandages and a class exclusive item called the medkit, which allows you to heal yourself and others. This would be overpowered if the dev didn't limit you to the gun equivalent of slingshots. Engineer class. These are the guys who are supposed to deal with vehicles on the map. Note, supposed to. They don't do it. The helicopter currently raining fire on the entire team, not a priority. The tank barreling down the road with its turret firmly locked onto my cranium, not a priority. The armored vehicle currently heading towards the point with a clown car of enemies within it, not a priority. The engineer class is the only class capable of carrying multiple types of rocket-propelled grenades. The types of rocket grenades are the exploding type, the exploding type, the exploding type, and let's not forget, the one that does nothing. You could try, but trust me, it does not kill on direct impact. If you want to lose, you equip fragmentation. Support class. This is the class that helps you come to terms with the fact you shot children back in Afghanistan. You're not a war hero, you're a criminal. That has nothing to do with the game. Why is that in the script? This class is meant to make your surrounding teammates more efficient and aid them in their endeavors. You are given the ability to carry heavy ammo kits, which you can use to resupply your teammates and yourself, but mostly yourself. You're only going to be helping yourself. The support class is the only class allowed to carry light machine guns, which I use to mag dump the enemy's general direction, praying to God that one of the hundreds of rounds that I dumped into that sector of this dimension mentioned, Graze is one of them. Recon class, these are the snipers. I despise the Recon class. That is the only description they are getting. I can see that you're falling asleep, so let me get into the fun aspects of the game, specifically the class strategies. The Assault class really has only one strategy: speed. The amount of stuff you're carrying affects how fast you can run. Therefore, by stripping yourself down to the bare minimum and equipping yourself with an SMG, you're able to outstrafe your enemy's aim, meaning you can simply fly through enemy territory, gunning down as many people as possible, until you unfortunately fall into the crosshair of a oblivious newbie. Medic strategies. There aren't any fun tactics with the medics. In fact, there's only two. Leveling up. Healing people gives you a lot of experience. You could probably get from level 0 to 60 in one very long play session as a medic. Immortality. The previously mentioned medkits can be used on yourself, meaning every time you take damage that isn't bleeding, you can quickly heal yourself and get back into the fight. Engineer strategies. You have a rocket launcher. While your squad gets absolutely obliterated by the local tank, you can instead aim your rockets towards a group of huddled enemies on the other side of a wall to get those juicy quad kills. Support strategies. Supports have the ability to replenish their own supplies and are also capable of carrying up to 4 grenades or smoke bombs or flashbangs. I hope you see what I'm getting at. Nobody gets to live. You can spam grenades over a wall, you can spam smoke, you can spam flashbangs, you can spam mines, you can spam C4, you can spam your LMG, because guess what? You can give yourself ammo. You can spam bandages, because you guessed it, you can give yourself more bandages and become a super soldier among men. Recon strategies. Well, there's a common one where you grind for a high powered scope and then stay in the back lines to pick off some children, insurgents. Or you can do the super funny strategy of putting landmines on a drone and flying directly into the feet of enemy soldiers. This is very funny. I have like an hour of footage of me just doing this. I think I've successfully sold you on which class you want to play as, so let me give you a general description of the weapons, specifically the guns. A quick tangent. This game suffers from an illness I call attempted realism. Reloading certain guns just drops the magazine. It's probably a setting I messed up, but it's annoying regardless. Automatic rifles. These are generally used for medium range combat. You use these when you want to hit those juicy close range headshots. A lot of them are capable of switching between single fire, semi-automatic fire, and full automatic fire. Do not choose single fire. You will lose the fight. Carbines. I'm not a gun guy. I have no idea what the difference between carbines and assault rifles are. In fact, they're getting slapped in with the assault rifles. There's some man in Texas who's very mad about what I just said. Personal defense weapons and SMGs. Once again, these two are getting put together because I cannot tell the difference between them. These are for close range encounters, usually used by the sweatiest of sweats, dropping 200 kills in Pakistan, running through rooms, eliminating entire squads. Light support guns. More assault rifles? There's probably a difference. What, did you expect me to do research for this video? This is a video about BattleBit. Get serious. Designated marksman rifles. These are assault rifles, but for more long-range pew-pews. Essentially sniper rifles for people who have the affinity to miss shots. So me, it's made for me. Note, just because these are not sniper rifles does not mean you will not be showing glints at a distance. They will see you shining like a star in the night sky. Sniper rifles. These weapons are the bane of my existence. Getting hit from 2 kilometers away by some guy named Dimitri. The way to counter this is strafe like a madman and never stand still. There are also pistols, but honestly, if you're at the point of a fight where you need to pull this out, you've already lost. As you get more and more kills with certain weapons, you unlock more and more attachments. I'm not gonna get into the exact attachments for every single weapon because, let's be honest, would be here for ages, so I'm going to give you a whole heap of generalizations with some quote-unquote funny pros and cons. There are side attachments which can be broken up into main sights, canted sights, and top sights. You will never need that many sights, just lose at this point. By equipping them, you sacrifice a little bit of control for increased accuracy when lining up your shots. Also, do not attach any magnifying sights to an assault rifle. That's actually play to lose. The side rail slot can be used to equip multiple different things. Laser sights, I've never used it, and I don't think there's a point, but hey, you do you. Flashlights, you can attach these if you actually want to lose. I cannot tell you the amount of times our location was given off because someone had a flashlight on their gun. It's broad daylight, why do you have that? Rangefinder tells you the distance of whatever your gun is pointed at. This item assumes you'll hit your shot. Pearls, you can attach suppressors and different types of muzzles, which is supposed to change the handling of the weapon, but I'm going to be real with you. If the placebo effect was a thing, which it's not, it was invented by Watch Mojo in 2016, it would be these. Grips. Get your mind out of the gutters. Once again, it probably helps, but holy placebo effect. At a certain point, the numbers that these grips change just gets overwhelming. I got so tired that I just equipped one that I liked the look of and then never looked back at the grips. You shouldn't actually worry about the attachments, it's gonna take you a while to unlock all of them first. Quick tangent. So a lot of weapons are locked behind level requirements, which makes sense. You want some progression to keep people playing. However, this means that people who've been playing the game longer have more experience and better weapons, which is an interesting fisting for a new player. My only advice for you is that you gotta thug that shit out, because the amount of times you're gonna get gunned down with a Chris Vector is absurd. This game also has certain armors locked behind level requirements, and some of it is even behind a paywall? For a game I paid money for. I don't know how to feel about this. I guess it's technically considered DLC. Allow me to summarize every other item that I could not squeeze into the 3 previous categories. Anti-vehicle mine. I have never used this. Anti-personnel mine. When I'm huddled in a building, I tend to place this right on top of me, so when the enemy shoots me and walks over my dead body to gloat, they get blown up too. It's not enough that I lose, others must lose too. Binoculars, advanced binoculars, and binosoflam? You use these to spot enemies so you can snipe them. Why I would use this when I have a scope, I don't know, man. Grappling hook, used to increase your elevation so you can gain the high ground on your enemies. MDX 201. You use it to imitate sniper glint and deceive the enemy on your location. At least that's what it says according to the wiki. I place one down and immediately get spotted right next to it. I probably should not have put it right next to me, but we live and pretend to learn. Pickaxe. I've actually never used this. Apparently it allows you to change the terrain, but also there's a weird lack of shotguns in the game. I guess they would be a little bit too overpowered considering the square nature of the players. But hey, I'm not a dev. Also, quick PSA, the servers have a tendency to just shit the bed. Everyone in the server just gets booted off perpetually. Anyway, see you in the next one.